We have two different ways of providing a cyber security review through two different tools. The first tool is something called CSAT. It's a very detailed tool, which I would say is probably appropriate for people who have a dedicated IT security person. Maybe you're further into your cyber security journey. It's based around CIS version 7, and again, the outputs are really quite detailed within the reports. The second one is called Block64, which is a more general tool, which surfaces some quite useful and interesting ideas and thoughts about how you can move your security posture forward. And again, it does give you the scoring. So let's have a quick. So we'll start with Block64. You can see down the left hand side that Block64 has some really useful and interesting reports across a number of topics. You can see it covers cloud migration, the software which is installed on your environment, software reports in terms of patching, etc. But you can see that within the cloud report section, there's a secure score, and there's also a security report section. This organization, unfortunately, isn't doing very well. You can see their score it's built up from a number of factors, but interestingly also shows the score over time. So as you make changes, you can see the score improving. The secure score area also provides this very useful, although it's a little bit of an eye test, it's a very useful area as it actually gives you very specific improvement actions and an idea of the impact it would have on your score. So for example, in this particular area, this customer's got 0 points at the moment, and there's some very detailed description of how the customer can improve that particular area. This is also another report I quite like. It shows the browser standardization, which obviously reflects the cybersecurity issues for end users. So there's got some very old versions of Internet Explorer within there. But also if you look through the security reports, you can see it's got some of the specific attacks that might happen within an organization, like Meltdown, Bluekeep or WannaCry, and does a sort of audit against the devices within the organization, identifies where you might have an exposure at a very simple, understandable level. So let's move our attention to CSAT. And so as mentioned, CSAT is backed by CIS version 7. There's two parts to a CSAT assessment. The first part is to roll out a tool and to gather information from the environment. And while that's happening, you can work through a questionnaire, 20 questionnaire which relate to the CIS controls, and for each of those areas you get a score. And so again, you have the ability to be able to figure out exactly where the organization needs to put in more effort. So for this particular item, CIS control 5, you can then see the different areas which make up that score and the points of configuration, and then that contributes to the overall score for the organization. And again, you can track that over time to identify what that looks like. In terms of the recommendations reports from CSAT, you can see here you've got urgent recommendations. So what are the top of mind security items that you need to address, and any Microsoft products which are relevant to those recommendations. And then also I quite like this section, quick wins, where again it might be a case of configuration changes to be able to resolve the issues very quickly and get that score a little bit higher and make sure you're covered as quickly as possible.